Tomorrow something shifts, not in a loud, movie scene way, but in a quiet way that makes your chest feel tight for no reason. Because the silence you've been living in is about to be interrupted. And I need you to hear this clearly. Tomorrow, your soulmate's visit breaks the silence you've been waiting for. Before we go deeper, subscribe right now, like this video, and comment "I'm ready" if you feel this message is for you. Because later in this video, I'm going to tell you the 3 signs that prove this visit is real, and the 1 mistake that can delay it. And here's the mini cliffhanger. The first sign won't look romantic at all. It will look like a problem. Now listen, you didn't click this video by accident. You clicked because you've been carrying a strange kind of loneliness. Not the kind where you just want attention, but the kind where you feel like you're waiting for someone you can't explain. You've tried to be patient. You've tried to heal. You've tried to focus on yourself. And still, there's a quiet part of you that whispers at night, "Where are they?" And the hardest part is not that they're not here. The hardest part is the silence. No message, no call, no sign, no clarity, just you and your thoughts and time moving forward. But tomorrow, the silence breaks. And I'm not saying tomorrow you get married. I'm not saying tomorrow you'll suddenly live in a perfect love story. I'm saying tomorrow is a spiritual turning point, a moment where the universe stops being quiet, a moment where God stops letting you wonder. Because when God is about to connect 2 souls, He always disrupts the silence first. And I want to show you why. You see, most people misunderstand soulmate energy. They think it's butterflies. They think it's chemistry. But soulmate energy is deeper than attraction. Soulmate energy is recognition. It's the feeling of meeting someone and realizing your spirit already knows them. And tomorrow, you may not even meet them face to face yet, but you will feel the approach. You will feel the spiritual knock before the physical door opens, because connection begins in the unseen. And the reason you've been in silence is because God has been preparing both of you. Not just you, both of you. Let me say something that might sting a little. The silence wasn't punishment, it was protection. Because if you met them too early, you would have ruined it. Or they would have ruined it. Or the timing would have crushed what was meant to grow slowly. God does not send your soulmate to your chaos. He sends them to your readiness. And you've been getting ready. But your soul has been doing the work. The tears, self-reflection, the lessons, the loneliness, all of it has been shaping you. And tomorrow, there's a shift. And here's where psychology and spirituality meet. Your nervous system has been trained by disappointment. So even when love approaches, your body may not feel excited. It may feel scary, because the brain doesn't recognize love as safe if it has only known survival. So tomorrow, when the silence breaks, you might not feel joy first. You might feel anxiety at first. You might feel restless. You might feel emotional for no reason. You might feel like you can't sleep. You might feel like you need to clean your room. You might feel like you need to delete old messages. And you'll think, "What's wrong with me?" Nothing is wrong with you. That's your spirit making space. That's your subconscious preparing for a new chapter. That's your soul saying, something is coming. Now, let me ground this in Scripture. There is one verse that fits this moment perfectly. "Behold, I stand at the door and knock." Revelation 3:20. That's not just about salvation. That's about divine timing. That's about visitation. Because what is meant for you will not break in. It will knock. It will announce itself. It will give you a choice. And tomorrow, you may hear the knock, not with your ears, but with your life. Now listen closely. A soulmate's visit is not always a person showing up at your doorstep. Sometimes it's a message. Sometimes it's a phone call. Sometimes it's a random encounter. Sometimes it's a dream that feels too real. Sometimes it's a name you haven't heard in years, suddenly appearing everywhere. And sometimes it's an emotional shift inside you, to your growth. So when they move closer, your soul responds. Now I want to tell you something very specific, because this is where most videos stay generic. And I'm not doing that today. Tomorrow's silence-breaking visit usually comes in one of three ways. And if you recognize which one is happening, you will stop sabotaging it. Here's the first way. Tomorrow you may receive an unexpected communication. Not the kind you've been rehearsing in your head. Not the perfect apology, not the fantasy message, but something simple. Hey, how have you been? I saw something that reminded me of you. Can we talk? And your ego will want to analyze it. Your trauma will want to distrust it. Your pride, you'll want to punish them with silence. But your soul will know, because the message won't feel like entertainment. It will feel like a door opening. Truth. A soulmate doesn't always return when they're confident. Sometimes they return when they're finally honest. They've been fighting themselves. They've been avoiding the truth. They've been scared of what they feel. And tomorrow, something breaks in them. The silence ends. Now here's the second way. Tomorrow you may have a chance meeting. A place you almost didn't go. A route you almost didn't take. A store you didn't need to visit. A friend you almost ignored. And suddenly, there they are. Or someone who leads you to them. And you'll feel something weird. Not butterflies, not fireworks. You'll feel stillness, like time slows down, like your mind goes quiet, like your heart recognizes something your brain can't explain. That is soulmate energy. And psychologically, that stillness happens because your nervous system is detecting familiarity. Familiarity like, I've met them before. Familiarity like, this is safe. And if you've never felt safe in love, that feeling will confuse you. You might even think they're not your type. But soulmates are not chosen by your type. They're chosen by your destiny. And tomorrow, destiny moves. Now here's the third way. Tomorrow, the visit may happen spiritually before it happens physically. And I need you to stay open-minded here. Because your soulmate may be thinking about you tomorrow, praying about you tomorrow, dreaming about you tomorrow. And you might feel it. You might suddenly think of them intensely. You might feel a wave of emotion. You might wake up at a strange hour. You might hear a song. It feels like a message. And you'll think it's just you being delusional. No. That's how spiritual connection works. Souls communicate before bodies do. And when two people are meant to meet, their spirits start reaching first. Now I promised you a cliffhanger earlier. I said the first sign won't look romantic. It will look like a problem. Here it is. Tomorrow the silence may break through discomfort. Something may go wrong. A misunderstanding. A delay. A sudden emotional trigger. A moment where you feel rejected again. And you'll think, nothing good ever happens. But what's really happening is this. Your soulmate's arrival stirs the parts of you that still fear love. And God allows that stirring because He is not just sending you romance. He is sending you transformation. Soulmates don't just hold your hand, they hold up a mirror. And tomorrow, the mirror appears. And this is where you must be careful. Because when the silence breaks, you might be tempted to respond from old pain. You might want to test them. You might want to act cold. You might want to disappear. You might want to act like you don't care. But hear me, if God is opening a door, don't slam it because you're scared of what's on the other side. Now let's talk about why tomorrow specifically matters. Because energy has seasons. And spiritually, there are moments when God releases things. Not randomly. Not when you beg hard enough. When you are aligned, and you have been aligning. You've been letting go of people who were wrong. You've been learning to say no. You've been healing your self-worth. You've been growing. And your soulmate can feel that. Even if they don't understand it logically. They can feel that you are no longer the same person they left behind. And that shift calls them. Now I want to be very real with you. A soulmate visit does not always mean the relationship begins tomorrow. Sometimes the visit is a test. Sometimes God allows them to approach, just to see if you've learned your lesson. Because your soulmate will never be your downfall. If someone returns to destroy your peace, they are not your soulmate. They are your distraction. So tomorrow, when the silence breaks, your job is not to chase. And discernment is not paranoia. Discernment is clarity. Discernment is peace. If you feel like you have to beg, prove, perform, or compete, that's not your soulmate. If you feel like you can breathe, that's closer to the truth. Now let's get even more specific. Here are the 3 signs tomorrow is truly your soulmate's visit. Sign number 1. You feel peace and fear at the same time. That sounds strange, but it's real. Your soul feels calm, but your trauma feels threatened. So your body may shake a little. Your stomach may feel weird. Your mind may race. But underneath all of that, there is a quiet sense of, this matters. That's sign 1. Sign number 2. The connection doesn't feed your ego. It challenges your patterns. A soulmate doesn't make you feel superior. They make you feel honest. You don't feel like you have to impress them. You have to be real. And that can feel scary. Because you're used to performing in love. You're used to being the cool one, the strong one, the one who doesn't need anyone. But tomorrow the silence breaks, and you may feel yourself softening. That's not a weakness. That's healing. Sign number 3. You receive confirmation in an unexpected way. A stranger says something that hits too deep. A Bible verse appears at the perfect time. A video like this shows up. A friend mentions their name. A dream feels like a message. God is not subtle when it's time. He will confirm. Now let me tell you the one mistake that can delay it. And this is where I need you to really listen. The mistake is this: trying to control how it happens. You've been imagining the perfect moment, the perfect apology, the perfect confession, the perfect timing. According to your fantasy. He moves according to your future. And sometimes, the way it happens is messy at first. Because people are messy. Healing is messy. Timing is messy. But destiny is still destiny. So tomorrow, if the silence breaks in an imperfect way, don't reject it immediately. Discern it, but don't destroy it out of pride. Now I want to speak to the person who has been waiting the longest, the one who feels like they've been forgotten. You haven't been forgotten. You've been protected from counterfeit love, because there are people who would have entered your life just to drain you, just to use you, just to keep you busy. And God kept you single, not because you're unworthy, but because you're valuable. And tomorrow, that season begins to change. Now I'm going to say something bold. Your soulmate is not just coming to love you. They are coming to partner with your purpose. That's why the delay has been so intense. Because if you connect with the wrong person, your calling gets distorted. Your energy gets drained. Your mind gets confused. Your confidence collapses. But when you connect with the right person, your life expands. You become more you, not less. You become more peaceful, not more anxious. You become more focused, not distracted. And tomorrow, you get a taste of that. A sign, a knock, a shift. Now, I want you to do something tonight. Before tomorrow arrives, I want you to prepare your heart without forcing your outcome. And here's what that looks like. Stop checking your phone every 5 minutes. Stop stalking their social media. Stop trying to manifest them through obsession. That's not faith. That's fear. Faith is calm. Faith is knowing that what is meant for you will find you. So tonight, breathe and pray one simple prayer. God, if this is my person, align our paths. If this is not my person, protect my peace. That prayer is powerful because it removes desperation and it invites truth. Now let's talk about what tomorrow's visit might actually feel like. Because some of you think it will feel like fireworks, but most soulmate visits feel like relief, like your spirit finally exhales. You might cry after, not because you're sad, but because you're releasing years of waiting, years of wondering, years of being strong, and suddenly, you don't have to carry that alone anymore. Now, let me be clear. A soulmate visit doesn't mean you ignore red flags. If someone returns with manipulation, excuses, and half-love, that is not God. God does not send confusion. God does not send inconsistency. Keeps you in anxiety. So tomorrow, when the silence breaks, look for fruit. Look for sincerity. Look for effort. Look for humility. Look for the truth. Because soulmates don't just feel good. They do good. Now I want to address something deeper. Some of you are not waiting for a new person. You're waiting for someone from your past. And you've been asking God, will they come back? Tomorrow, you may get your answer. But it might not be what you expect. Sometimes the silence breaks, not because they return, but because you finally let them go. And that is also a soulmate visit. Because sometimes your soulmate is not the one who comes back. Sometimes your soulmate is the one who arrives after you stop bleeding. So if tomorrow brings closure instead of reunion, don't call it loss. Call it alignment. Because God is not cruel. He is precise. Listen. Your soulmate is not a reward for suffering. They are a companion for growth. And tomorrow's silence-breaking moment is the beginning of that growth. So if you receive a message, respond with peace. If you meet them unexpectedly, stay present. If you feel the spiritual pull, don't dismiss it, but don't obsess over it either. Let it unfold. Because real love doesn't need chasing. It needs readiness. Now, I want to end with this. Tomorrow is not just about them. It's about you. It's about the part of you that has been waiting in the dark. The part of you that has been hoping quietly. The part of you that has been praying without words. Tomorrow, God answers in motion. And if you've been feeling tired, if you've been feeling like love is not for you, if you've been feeling like the silence will never end, this is your reminder. Forever, the door is about to knock. And when it does, don't hide. Don't run. Don't sabotage. Stand in your worth. Because your soulmate's visit is not coming to take your peace. It's coming to confirm it. So tonight, rest. Tomorrow, pay attention. And if you want, comment right now. Tomorrow, I will receive what God has for me. And don't forget to subscribe, because in the next video, I'm going to reveal the difference between a soulmate and a karmic connection. And that might save you years of heartbreak. Tomorrow, the silence breaks, and your soul will know. And one more thing, tomorrow doesn't just bring a visit, it brings a decision. Because when the silence breaks, you're going to be tempted to react like the old you. The version of you that had to survive love. The version of you that learned to expect disappointment. But tomorrow is not asking you to survive. Tomorrow is asking you to receive. And that's a different mindset. That's a different heart posture. That's a different kind of strength. So if you're still here, I want you to do something right now. Comment, I'm choosing peace over fear. Because the moment you speak it, you stop feeding the old cycle. Now listen carefully. Some of you have been feeling a strange pressure in your chest lately. Like something is building. Like something is about to happen. Like you're standing at the edge of a new chapter, but you can't see the page yet. That's not anxiety for no reason. That's anticipation. And tomorrow, that anticipation turns into movement. Not fantasy, not daydreaming, not maybe someday. Movement. And the reason I keep saying tomorrow is because the energy of your season is shifting fast, like God is speeding up what was delayed. Now, because you're finally ready to love without losing yourself. That's the real miracle. Not meeting them, not hearing from them, not seeing them. The real miracle is that you're not the same person who used to accept crumbs. And tomorrow, that matters. Now I want you to understand something about soulmate timing. Your soulmate doesn't arrive when you're bored. They arrive when you're aligned. And alignment feels quiet. Alignment feels like you don't need to prove anything anymore. Alignment feels like you're tired of games. So if you've been feeling disgusted by situationships, if you've been feeling allergic to inconsistency, if you've been feeling like you'd rather be alone than be confused, that's not you giving up. That's you leveling up. And your soulmate can feel that. Now here's something nobody talks about. Sometimes your soulmate's visit begins with them watching from a distance. They check your profile. They ask about you. They look for signs that you're still you, because they're nervous too. Yes, even them. Your soulmate is not a superhero. They're humans with wounds, a human with fear, disappointed, and tomorrow, something in them says, I can't stay silent anymore. And you need to be ready for how it comes. Because the first contact might be awkward, it might be short, it might be clumsy. But clumsy honesty is better than perfect silence. So if they show up tomorrow and it's not poetic, don't miss the miracle because it didn't come in a pretty package. Now let's make this extremely practical. If tomorrow you receive a message, do not respond instantly out of adrenaline. Breathe first, read it twice, ask yourself, does this bring peace or confusion? Because your nervous system might confuse excitement with anxiety, and I want you to choose peace. If tomorrow you meet them unexpectedly, don't perform. Don't try to be impressive. Don't try to be mysterious. Don't try to be untouchable. Just be present, because your soulmate is not looking for a pretty package. Mask. They're looking for home. Now, if tomorrow you feel them spiritually, if you feel emotional for no reason, if you dream of them, if you wake up at 3 a.m. with their name on your mind, don't panic. Just pray and say, God, if this is real, confirm it. Because God is not afraid of your questions. He welcomes them. Now let's bring in the second Bible verse, and this one is perfect for tomorrow's moment. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Isaiah 60:22. That's not a motivational quote. That's a promise. And tomorrow might be your time is right. Not because you forced it, not because you begged, not because you chased, but because God decided the season has changed. Now, I want to talk to the person who keeps asking, what if I miss it? You won't. What's meant for you doesn't require perfection. It requires openness. Your job will not be to be perfect. Your job is to be available. Emotionally available, spiritually available, mentally available. And you do that by releasing control. Now, I'm going to give you a powerful exercise for tonight, and I want you to actually do it. Write down the sentence, I am ready for love that is safe. And if that sentence triggers you, if it makes you emotional, if it makes you want to laugh it off, that means you need it. Because some of you are still addicted to love that hurts. Not because you want pain, but because pain is familiar. And tomorrow is about unfamiliar love. Love that doesn't disappear. Love that doesn't confuse you. Love that doesn't punish you. And that kind of love will feel strange at first. So if tomorrow your soulmate visits and it feels too calm, don't assume it's boring. It might be God with you. Because I don't want you to just watch this video. I want you to participate in it. So comment this right now. I'm done with confusion. And if you've been waiting on one person specifically, comment, God, reveal the truth. Because tomorrow is not just about reunion. Tomorrow is about revelation. Now let's go deeper. A soulmate's visit doesn't just break the silence between you and them. It breaks the silence inside you. You may realize you've been settling. You may realize you've been hiding. You may realize you've been holding on to someone who wasn't even capable. And tomorrow, the silence breaks like a glass ceiling. You suddenly see clearly. And clarity is attractive. Clarity is magnetic. That's why your soulmate comes closer when you finally stop chasing what isn't yours. So if tomorrow you feel a sudden detachment from the past, if you feel a sudden peace about letting go, that's not you losing. That's you being freed. And freedom is the doorway to real love. Now listen closely. Some of you are going to experience the silence breaking through a friend. A friend might say, I met someone, or I want you to come with me, or I want you to join this event, and you'll almost say no. Don't say no. Tomorrow your blessing might be hidden in an invitation. So if you get invited somewhere tomorrow, go. Even if you don't feel like it. Even if you don't have the perfect outfit. Even if you're tired. Even if you feel awkward. Because soulmates don't always come through dating apps. Sometimes they come through destiny. Now, I want to speak to the person who is afraid. You're not afraid of love. You're afraid of being hurt again. And that fear is valid. But tomorrow is not asking you to ignore your fear. To not let fear drive the car. Let fear sit in the back seat. Let wisdom sit in the front. And let God be the navigator. So if tomorrow the silence breaks and you feel overwhelmed, slow down. You don't have to rush into anything. You don't have to prove anything. You can take your time. Because real love doesn't pressure you. It reassures you. Now I want to end this continuation with a final confirmation. Tomorrow, the silence breaks, but the silence breaking is not the end. It's the beginning. And if you've been waiting for a sign, this is your sign. Not because I said so, but because your spirit recognizes truth when it hears it. So if your heart is beating a little faster right now, if you feel emotional, if you feel like this video is speaking directly to you, comment, "I received the knock." And if you want to claim tomorrow with faith, comment, "God, I'm ready for what's next." Meant for me. Because words are powerful, faith is powerful, and tomorrow is powerful. So tonight, rest. Tomorrow, watch what happens. And remember, what is meant for you will not stay silent forever. It will knock. And when it knocks, open the door with wisdom. Open the door with peace. Open the door with faith. Because tomorrow, your soulmate's visit breaks the silence you've been waiting for. And I want to go even deeper now, because tomorrow isn't just a date on a calendar. Tomorrow is a spiritual checkpoint. Tomorrow is the moment where your soul stops asking when and starts hearing now. So if you've been feeling like you're on the edge of something lately, because you're not imagining it, you've been in a season where God has been quiet on purpose, not because he ignored you, but because he was building you. Silence is where most people quit. Silence is where most people settle. Silence is where most people run back to what's familiar. Silence is where most people accept the wrong love just to feel something. But you didn't. You stayed, you grew, you prayed, you cried, you healed. And tomorrow, God rewards endurance with evidence. Now I want to talk about something psychological that most people don't realize. Sometimes when your soulmate is about to show up, your mind will start replaying old memories, not because you're going backward, but because your brain is clearing space. It's like your mind is cleaning out a closet, throwing away old clothes, old letters, old versions of you. So if tonight you suddenly remember someone who hurt you, if you suddenly feel grief about something you thought you healed, that's not failure, that's the release. And tomorrow after the release, arrival. Now listen carefully. Your soulmate's visit is not only about romance, it's about restoration. Because love, real love, doesn't just feel good. It restores what life broke. It restores trust. It restores hope. It restores softness. It restores your belief that you can be chosen and safe at the same time. And tomorrow, you may get your first taste of that restoration. Now, let me be bold again. Some of you are going to receive a message tomorrow that makes your hands shake. Not because it's dramatic, but because it's the message you stopped expecting. The message you buried. The message you told yourself would never come. And when it comes, you're going to want to act like you don't care. Don't do that. You don't have to play cool anymore. That season is over. So if you've been hiding your heart for years, comment, "I'm ready to be real." Tomorrow doesn't respond to masks. Tomorrow responds to the truth. And yes, people can change, but not everybody does. So tomorrow, you don't just listen to words, you watch behavior. Now here's a key phrase I want you to remember, and I want you to type it in the comments if it hits you. Love is shown, not explained. Because tomorrow, someone might finally explain, but you need to see if they will also show. Now I promised this video would be guidance from God, not just motivation. So here is the truth. Your soulmate's visit is never random. It is scheduled in the spirit. That's why you couldn't force it. That's why you couldn't rush it. That's why you couldn't manifest it with desperation. Because God doesn't move on from your anxiety. He moves on His timing. And that brings us to this Bible verse. And this one is for tomorrow specifically. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. Beautiful in its time, not early, rushed, not forced. In its time. And tomorrow might be your time. Now, I want to speak to the person who feels like giving up on love. You've been disappointed. You've been misled. You've been ghosted. You've been played with. You've been emotionally drained. And you told yourself, maybe love is not for me. But that thought didn't come from God. That thought came from pain. And tomorrow, God challenges that lie. Because when the silence breaks, it breaks the lie too. Now here's something that will make this even more real. Tomorrow, you may feel pulled to do something out of character. You may feel pulled to text someone, go somewhere, answer a call you usually ignore, say yes to a plan, wear something different, take a different route. And you might think, why am I doing this? Because your spirit is being guided, and sometimes God doesn't speak in thunder. Sometimes he speaks in nudges. So tomorrow, if you feel a nudge, follow it. Not blindly, but faithfully. Now let's talk about the biggest reason people miss their soulmate moment. They're too busy trying to look unbothered. They're too busy acting like they don't care, too busy pretending they're fine, too busy protecting their ego. But your soulmate isn't looking for your performance. They're looking for your presence. So tomorrow, when the silence breaks, don't perform, don't punish, don't test. Be present. Now, if you're the kind of person who overthinks everything, I want you to comment, I release control, because overthinking is a trauma response, not a personality trait. And tomorrow is not going to be understood through overthinking. Tomorrow is going to be understood through discernment. And discernment feels like peace. Powerful thing to watch for tomorrow. This is the sign that is so specific, it scares people when it happens. Tomorrow, you may hear the same phrase twice. A phrase like, I don't know why, but I thought of you. Or, I feel like I'm supposed to talk to you. Or I've been meaning to reach out. And then later, you'll hear it again. From someone else, or in a song, or in a video, or in a conversation you overhear.
That repetition is confirmation.
God repeats what matters. So if you notice repetition tomorrow, comment, I see the confirmation. Now breathe, because tomorrow is not here to stress you. Tomorrow is here to restore you. The silence you've been waiting in was not the end of your love story. It was the pause before the entrance. And tomorrow, the entrance begins. So if you're ready, comment this right now. Tomorrow, I open the door. Heart soft. Keep your spirit alert. Keep your mind calm. Because when God brings two souls together, he doesn't just send love. He sends alignment. And tomorrow, the silence breaks. Now let's finish this in a way that hits your spirit and your mind at the same time. Because tomorrow is not only about your soulmate showing up, it's about you finally believing you're allowed to be loved. Some of you don't realize this, but you've been praying for a person while secretly feeling unworthy of the person. You've been saying, God, send them. But deep inside you've been thinking, would they even choose me? And tomorrow, the silence breaks to heal that inner doubt. So if you've ever struggled with feeling chosen, comment, I am worthy of real love. Because that's the first door that has to open. Not the door to them, the door to you. Now listen, your soulmate's visit tomorrow might not be dramatic. It might be simple, it might be gentle, it might be quiet. But quiet love is the most dangerous kind, because it melts walls you thought were permanent. And tomorrow your walls might start cracking. Not because you're weak, but because you're safe enough to soften. And that is what God has been preparing. Now, I need to warn you about something. When the silence breaks, the enemy of your destiny breaks silence too. Yes, because the moment God starts moving, distractions start knocking. Old people might return, toxic exes might text, random flirtations might appear, temptations might show up just to pull you off course. And you might think, wow, everyone wants me now. No, it's not everyone, it's interference. So tomorrow, don't just pay attention to who comes. Pay attention to how they make you feel, because your soulmate will not pull you into chaos. Your soulmate will pull you into clarity. So if you want a key phrase to live by tomorrow, it's this. Peace is the password. If it doesn't bring peace, it's not the door. Comment, peace is the password, if you're with me. Now let's talk about the moment the silence breaks. You might be sitting in your room. You might be at work. You might be in the car. You might be in the shower. And suddenly, a notification, a call, a name, a feeling, and your heart will drop. That heart drop is not a weakness. That heart drop is recognition. It's your body realizing something is happening that your mind has been waiting for. And in that moment, you have two choices. You can respond from fear, or you can respond from faith. Fear says, don't get your hopes up. They'll disappoint you again. This is too good to be true. Protect yourself. But faith says, God is in control. What's meant for me will not harm me. I can be open without being foolish. And tomorrow, faith has to be louder. So comment this right now, faith over fear. Now I want to give you the most important truth of this entire message. The truth that makes tomorrow make sense. Your soulmate's visit is not just about romance. It's about an assignment. There are certain blessings God won't release until the right person is beside you. Because some blessings require partnership. Some blessings require support. Some blessings require two people to be aligned. Some blessings require a union. And tomorrow, when the silence breaks, it's not only your love life shifting, it's your life shifting. That's why it feels so heavy. That's why it feels so intense. That's why you can't stop thinking about it. Your soul knows it's bigger than feelings. This part, because it fits perfectly. Two are better than one. Ecclesiastes 4:9. Not because you're incomplete, but because purpose multiplies when the right souls connect. And tomorrow, God may be positioning that multiplication. Now, I want you to hear me clearly. A soulmate visit does not mean you ignore your boundaries. Tomorrow is not the day to lose your self-respect. Tomorrow is not the day to accept half-effort. Tomorrow is not the day to chase. Tomorrow is the day to observe. Tomorrow is the day to discern. Tomorrow is the day to stay calm. Because if this is truly your soulmate, they won't require you to shrink. They won't require you to beg. They won't require you to compete. They won't require you to suffer. They will meet you with intention. And if you've never been met with intention before, that will feel unfamiliar. So don't mistake unfamiliar peace for lack of chemistry. Sometimes the most powerful love doesn't start with fireworks. It starts with safety. Now, I want to speak directly to the person who is still holding pain from the last time they trusted. You trusted someone. You opened your heart, and it cost you. And ever since then, you've been guarded. You've been acting strong, but deep inside, you've been tired. Tomorrow is not coming to break you. Tomorrow is coming to restore you. So if you've been tired of carrying everything alone, comment, I'm ready to be held, because you are. Now let's talk about what to do after the silence breaks, because a lot of people get the moment, and then they ruin the moment. They start interrogating. They start over-explaining. They start sending paragraphs. They start demanding clarity instantly. Listen, tomorrow is not about forcing the whole story. It's about opening the first. So if you get a message tomorrow, keep it simple. If you get an invitation tomorrow, say yes with calm energy. If you meet them tomorrow, stay present, not performative. And if you feel overwhelmed tomorrow, take a breath. Because love is not supposed to feel like drowning. It's supposed to feel like coming home. Now here's the final comment prompt I want you to leave under this video, and I want you to mean it when you type it. Comment, tomorrow I allow God to surprise me. Because that's the heart posture of destiny. Not forcing, not controlling, not panicking, allowing. And tomorrow, when the silence breaks, you won't need to chase the sign. You will be the sign. Your peace will be the sign. Your glow will be the sign. Your calm will be the sign. Your readiness will be the sign. So tonight, let go. Tomorrow, stay aware. Open the door with wisdom. Open the door with faith. Open the door with peace. Because the silence you've been living in was never your ending. It was the space God used to prepare your beginning. and tomorrow, your soulmate's visit breaks the silence you've been waiting for.